Welcome to the GLS official YouTube page. Today I'm going to be showing you how I help people improve their writing skills with a nice bit of analysis and color-coded corrections. So, as you see here, this is a student's work, a student's piece of work that I have corrected. So, this is it uncorrected, so let's go through it together. Here is a question. It is for IELTS. For the IELTS, I believe it's IELTS Academic. So here is the question, and then you can scroll down. You can see I've got my color codes here. So gold is good and appropriate use of language. Then you've got exceptional use of language near native level, which is now in dark gold. Error correction, where I correct mistakes, in blue. Issues with coherence, if it's understandable, in green. And finally, highlighted mistakes in red. Sometimes they can be serious errors or errors that I want the student to notice. At the bottom will be notes of things that the student needs to work on, and we will take it from there and see. Okay, so let's have a look here. Let's get started. It's important for people to consider how to spend their time throughout life. Spelling mistake there. So as you can see, the spelling mistake then is corrected and highlighted in the blue color. So now that mistake is corrected. It was just a small spelling error. And here another one, repeat E, where it should have just been a repeat, so color that in blue as well. Right, let's just get rid of the red line. The same activities. Others believe that disrupt their routine is positive. Now, there is a mistake there as well. Others believe that disrupting their routine is positive. Got to use your ing form there. So another blue. We'll put a blue in the ing because the base form of the word was correct. Okay. So in this essay, I will explain what might be behind those stances and present my support up to a certain point for both views. Now, interesting here, I'm not totally sure what presenting my support means because there is no agree or disagree written in the question. So that I put as a potential coherence issue, and I'm just going to write into the notes here. So if you check out the notes, I always put a detailed description of why a mistake has been made and what we can do to improve it. So I said here, if you disagree with the given statement, make that clear. It's not clear if the student actually agrees or disagrees with the statement. If they don't have a strong stance, you must use something like I partially agree or something like that. Okay? So the problem there is that she presents her support. We don't actually know. We don't actually know if she truly agrees or not. So in this case, she might be agreeing, and it does look like that, but it's not 100% clear. So in this case, one of the things they judge you for in the IELTS is your coherence. So here are some options I've provided. I partially or somewhat agree with the given statement, etc. Okay, put that in bold because those kind of words are very good if you're not 100% sure if you agree. So, firstly, remain in the same. Another problem similar to disrupting, it should be remaining. So as you see, a couple of errors here in tense. So remaining in the same routine might reinforce habit formation, and I really like this language. It's a good use of modal verb and a very nice prefix there to reinforce habit formation. And the same here, this is because habits are created from the repetition of the same activity during a long period. For me, a very nice and well-constructed piece of language. Here, a very good linker. For instance, I like that linker, it links the statements together. Given an example, a person that goes to the gym on a daily basis is more likely to continue performing this activity in the long term. Another very solid and strong piece of language. As a result of this repetition, just got to get rid of that. As a result of this repetition, eventually this habit would be installed and it would bring several benefits to that individual, such as good physical condition, health, or even more productivity. I don't see any problems with that, but again, it's not exceptional language. Here, horizons. So instead of horizons, a kind of strange mistake there. So got to watch out. I would then suggest for the student there that they need to be very clear and with spelling mistakes. Maybe write them all down in a notepad when you write the correct version of that put it in a notepad and look at it once or twice per day. It's a nice technique to use to avoid making silly mistakes, because spelling mistakes like that, even though they are small, can cost you in the IELTS. So here is a very good sentence. However, I strongly believe that changes broaden horizons and keep the mind open. Had they not made the spelling mistake, this is a very, very solid sentence, and it's a mistake we can avoid in future. Something has a huge amount not defined. So the amount here was not defined in what she was saying. So on the brain there after that. So there is a mistake here. You've got to make sure you put the A in there as well. So on the brain plus indefinite article. Now this is quite a small mistake that many people make with articles. It's a very common error. So here, which has a huge impact, okay, so it's one large impact, not which has huge impact. This is creativity, neuroplasticity, and generally speaking, another minor mistake there. This is what I consider exceptional use of language. Neuroplasticity is a very good choice of vocabulary for the topic at hand. I definitely like that, and I think having knowledge of the topic, as I said in a previous video, can help you a lot. So, several investigations have been conducted to illustrate this point. Researchers have found that taking new actions lead to the formation of neuronal pathways and rewire the nervous system, endowing individuals with new abilities. This here is absolutely brilliant language. It is exceptional. And you can see there are certain parts that really work well of this essay, but it needs work, it needs improvement. It needs, a little bit more of a push to get the level higher, but in general, it is pretty strong. In conclusion, while it is important to incorporate novelty in the life in order to rewire our brain, I also believe that repetition provides an opportunity. There's a spelling mistake there. So here, novelty in our life or in our lives is much better here. Novelty to the life doesn't have sense. So you've got to watch out for that different use of preposition and also pronoun there. So an opportunity has two P's. A minor spelling mistake, small little dings because the student is not used to practicing this way. But here we see the final essay with corrections and also things in which to work on. So we see here that I'm just making a mistake with the spelling. Incorporate novelty in our life, it should be, because we always incorporate something in our life. So the preposition mistake there, which is fine, they can be made. The reason for doing this type of writing correction helps us to identify the small grammar problems, the small spelling issues, small vocabulary problems, depending on the level of your student. It really depends on the level. Now, we have seen here that the level of the student is very close to where they want to be, which was overall 7. So in this case, we only need to make a few improvements, do a lot more practice, and give the student some specific things that they need or have to work on. That is what I've done here. There are 4 very clear points here, incorporating novelty in our lives. Now, I would probably say this is about maybe a 6.5 in terms of level if we were to analyse the essay that we have. Now, it was good, I would say here, yeah, overall a solid effort, around 6.5. Now the student needs 7. So I also then give a nice positive piece of reinforcement that this was this particular student's first effort at an essay with me. So because this was their first try, it was actually a very good performance. So after this, her essays become much stronger, and I can tell you that this student ended up with an overall 7. So this really helped in terms of helping her improve the writing. As you can see here, after this was the essay that she produced for me just 1 month or 3 weeks later. As you can see, it is covered in gold, the spelling mistakes have gone, and in general the level of the essay is much better. As a result of this, we achieved a success. So I hope that this episode has shown you a little bit of what I do with my students in terms of writing, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching or listening to the GLS official YouTube page.